Hey there, my name's Brad Evans. I'm from FBA and I just want to say thanks so much for engaging with my post earlier today. Basically what I did was I put up a bit of an experiment, 20-minute experiment where I used my phone, just a standard Samsung Galaxy S4, and just took my product outside and did a bit of a product shoot outside, just using my mobile phone. And I was pretty surprised with what came back. I was pretty impressed with it. But just to keep in keeping with it, I decided not to use Photoshop, which I would normally use. I just used a free online web editor. I wasn't that impressed with it, but it did the job. And I just wanted to share with you today how I went about doing that. So I've got a few different photos and things, and I'll put them up on the screen in a moment as I'm talking about them. So stay tuned, and you'll be able to see how you can produce a better image than what I've done, using a few better things than what I have, and quite frankly, a lot more care than what I've done. Basically, I just threw this together, and the actual finished product is something that I believe you can improve on, and you can do a heck of a lot better. So come with me and let's have a look at these photos. Alright, so these are the images that I took straight off my camera. My phone, actually. I just uploaded them straight to Google Drive and then downloaded them onto my computer. And you can see these are the actual photos that I took. They're pretty grainy. They're a little bit grainy, and it's not as light as you can see in the actual image that I've shown you guys. So a lot of it's been done with the photo editor. But I just wanted to show you that this is straight off the camera. It's nothing special, and in fact, if I were to do this again, I'd try and get a lot more light on that because it's quite dark, but it still can work to your favor. So basically this is the setup that I used. So it's just the front of my house. I've got a chair here, and I just put a ladder just there. Okay, and all I did was drape a sheet over the top. As you can see here, we've got the ladder, we've got the sheet. You can see the sun's coming through this way, okay, which is then rebounding and hitting the camera there. So that's what I was really looking for. I wanted that key light. I wanted the main amount of light to come and hit that sheet and bounce off onto the camera. So that's the main thing. So when you're taking photos of different products, you really need to be thinking about whereabouts you want the light to hit. You want to think about the shadows that you want to see, because in fact often you do want to see shadows. Shadows often give you that sort of depth to your photo that will really make things pop out of it, and just make it really stand out. So again, the whole reason behind me doing this was just to show you what you can achieve just using a standard camera. I guess the point I'm making is that you really don't need to go out and spend thousands of dollars to take a really nice photo of your product. Even in the comments of the Facebook post that I just did before, people are talking about how pro photographers spend hours on photos and things, and yeah, that's true. But when you're talking about an image that's going to go onto Amazon, that's really 1,000 pixels by 1,000 pixels, it's not, those tiny little flecks of dust that they're getting rid of, they don't really matter, okay? Because no one's really going to be able to see it on that pixel resolution image anyway. So my recommendation is probably still not to use a mobile phone. I am suggesting that you use either a nice point and shoot camera, or if you do know somebody with an SLR camera, you can even shoot it on full auto. It will still work as long as you've got enough light in the room, and you've got it positioned correctly. You will get a nice photo regardless. Okay, so this is my setup here. As I said before, I've got the light bouncing off here. I'll position the camera how I wanted it, and I was in such a rush I didn't actually even notice that. I don't know if you can see it there. Let me jump through. Yeah, you can see it here. This is those shadows that you could see in the final product. I didn't flatten the sheet. I really should have just I really should have got the iron out and ironed it so that it was nice and flat, so that you'd be able to see it. But I just wanted to prove a point that it can be done, okay? Because it proved a lot more difficult than I thought it would do, just using the online editor to get rid of those shadows and things, okay? Because I just grabbed the first editor that I came across online. So basically, all right, so there's our image, and you can see that's the final product. And you can see there's quite a lot of, the color. I've boosted the saturation a bit too much, and we've got a bit of color bleed there. Looks a bit funny there, looks a bit funny here. But you know what? It's still, on the whole, it's pretty good when you compare it to that, okay? So that's what post-editing can do. You can take an image that's pretty ordinary and make it look a heck of a lot better. So you could do the same thing if you had an image that is quite good, and then turn it into something that is very good, okay? That's the whole point. All right, so this is what I was doing. I literally did a search for online photo editor, and these were the two this is the ones that came up. There's a whole stack of them, heaps and heaps. So basically I just picked the top one, Pixlr photo editor. I actually clicked on this one as well, but I couldn't get it to work for some reason. Don't know what I was doing wrong, don't really care, okay? So Pixel is the one I chose. You just click browse, choose the image, open, and it's just a matter of playing with the different adjustments to get it to where you want. So I would normally do all this stuff in Photoshop. I'd be able to play with the contrast, the brightness. I could use the lasso tool and get rid of stuff, and you can remove part of the image. But if you take an image that is bright enough to start with the exposure where it should be nice and bright, you'll find that it actually will just key out, like it just will disappear. Okay, the white, as you increase the brightness a little bit and change the contrast, the background will just start to disappear. So I'll just show you what I'm talking about. I'm going to choose contrast, and you'll see, whoa, okay, straight away, look what's happened. It's boosted the brightness. It's just given me like an auto. It's just figured out what it thinks. It's given me an auto brightness of 21, contrast of 70. I think that's a little bit washed out. So I'm going to drop the brightness just a tad, and I'm probably going to leave that contrast there. So again, if I had have ironed this sheet, okay, we wouldn't have that shadow there, we wouldn't have that line there, okay, and again at the back. It really would have been a lot better. So I'm just going to show you again the difference between the two. So close, ooh, whoops. Sorry about that. So from there, and watch this again, straight up, all the background vanishes. So that's something that you can use, very, very handy to be able to do that, okay? So I'm going to hit apply. The next thing I need to do is I need to crop it, okay? As you know, or may not know, with Amazon, you need to make sure that you've got a 1000 by 1000 pixel image. That's just to make sure that you can zoom in when you hover over it. Okay, so I am gonna crop it in a little bit. You'll notice down here that I've actually chosen 1:1. That gives me a square ratio. Oh, I should also point out the width is 1925 by 1925. So that's just whatever I choose. See, that goes up and down as I move it. As long as that's over 1000, you're cool, okay? If it's higher than 1000, Amazon will scale it down as it needs to, and then you're good. All right, some other things that I did to the image. I used the sharpen tool a little bit, sharpened it up just a tad, and clicked apply. Okay, it did like an auto sharpen there. A few other things I did. I think I clicked the auto fix and just see what it did. Yeah, it didn't do too much. Cancel. Airbrushed it a little bit just to smooth out. See how it smooths out those shadows. Make the brush size a bit bigger, a lot bigger. Okay, and you can see that it smooths it out quite a lot. Again, this is all pretty basic stuff that you could do a lot more effectively in Photoshop, but again, this was the challenge that I set myself, and I'm just telling you how I did it. Okay. I'm really not happy at the moment with the amount of shadows that are in there still. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to save that. Ooh, cancel. I'm just going to go back to the adjustment, and I'm going to have another play with the contrast. Whoa, you'll see it's just doubled the amount again. Just going to drop that right down. I just wanted to boost out just a little bit. A little bit more. Yeah. So, like I keep saying, you know, if you had a better quality image out of a better camera, it would you know, look a lot better. However, I keep saying a better camera. If you actually had a lot more light, you would find that it would be a lot less grainy, and a lot more detail would be in that image, and you would be able to play with it a little bit further and not get so, you know, it wouldn't give you odd colors and things. So you can see that saturation starting to appear there again as well. Just click apply. After I did all that, so those were the main things I did. I just played with that for a little bit longer, got rid of some of the filth that's actually on the camera. I really should have cleaned it before I took photos of it. Anyway, so the type, and basically this Pixlr program's got different text that you can use. I just added a couple of pieces of text and away I went. So that's the basics on how to adjust your image. It's really, you know, a lot of it is your contrast and brightness. If you play with those things, you can get it to a point where you can do the finer details, but that will really help you to get your image where you want it to be. So think about the light, think about where it's going to be hitting your product, and you know, take a heap of images and then just have a play. It's going to take you longer than 20 minutes to do a proper setup, but you know, just give it a go. See how you go. Hopefully that's helped you a little bit today. And I just wanted to say thanks so much for engaging again with my post, and just keep an eye out, because I am going to be putting out more tutorial sorts of things. So if you got any value out of this today, give us a yell. I'd love a bit of a shout out. And I'd love to see you come to my website. It's in early stages at the moment. www.fbafotoguy.com. And I'd like to put lots of different tutorials and video casts there to help you to take photos that are going to be able to be used on FBA. And in the future, I might even look at somehow setting up a process to maybe for me to help you to actually take some of your photos for you. So thanks for listening. I'm Brad Evans, and enjoy your day.